Section 67. Janamejaya said, O worshipful one, I wish to hear from thee in detail about the birth among men of the gods, the Dhanavas, the Gandharvas, the Rakshasas, the lions, the tigers, and the other animals, the snakes, the birds, and in fact of all creatures. I wish also to hear about the acts and achievements of those in due order after they became incarnate in human forms. Vaisampayana said, O King of men, I shall first tell thee all about those celestials and Dhanavas that were born among men. The first of Dhanavas, who was known by the name of Viprachitti, became that bull among men, noted as Jarasandha. And O King, that son of Diti, who was known as Hiranyakashipu, was known in this world among men as the powerful Sisupala. He who had been known as Sanglada, the younger brother of Prahallada, became among the men the famous Salya, that bull amongst Vahlikas. The spirited Anulada, who had been the amongst noted in the world as Drishtaketu. And O King, that son of Diti, who had been known as Sivi, became on earth the famous monarch Druma. And he who was known as the great Asura, Vashkala, became on earth the great Bhagadatta. The five great Asuras gifted with great energy, Ayasira, Ashwasira, the spirited Aisanku, Gaganamrudan, and Vegavat were all born in the royal line of Kekaya. They all became great monarchs. That other Asura of mighty energy, who was known by the name of Ketumat, became on earth the monarch Amit Hojas of terrible deeds. That great Asura, who was known as Swarabhanu, became on earth the monarch Ugrasena of fierce deeds. That great Asura, who was known as Ashwa, became on earth the monarch Ashoka of exceeding energy and invincible in battle. And O King, the younger brother of Ashwa, who were known as Ashwapati, a son of Diti, became on earth the mighty monarch Hardikya. The great and fortunate Asura, who was known as Rishaparvan, became noted on earth as King Salva. The powerful and mighty Asura, who was known as Ashwagriha, became noted on earth as King Rochamana. And O King, the Asura, who was known as Sukshama, endued with great intelligence and whose achievements also were great, became on earth the famous King Rihadrata. And that first of Asura, who was known by the name of Tuhanda, became noted on earth as the monarch Senavindu. That Asura of great strength, who was known as Yishupa, became the monarch Nagnajita of famous prowess. The great Asura, who was known as Ekachakra, became noted on earth as Prithvindaya. The great Asura, Virupaksha, capable of displaying various modes of fight, became noted on earth as King Chitravarman. The first of Dhanavas, the heroic Hara, who humbled the pride of all foes, became on earth the famous and fortunate Suvahu. The Asura, Suhatra, of great energy, and the destroyer of foemen, became noted on earth as the fortunate monarch Munjakesha. That Asura of great intelligence, called Nikumba, who was never vanquished in battle, was born on earth as King Devadipa, the first among monarchs. That great Asura, known amongst the sons of Diti by the name of Sarabha, became on earth the royal sage called Paurava. And O King, the great Asura of exceeding energy, the fortunate Kupata, was born on earth as the famous monarch Suparswa. The great Asura, O king, who was called Krata, was born on earth as the royal sage Parvateya, a form resplendent like a golden mountain. He amongst the Asura, who was known as Salabha the second, became on earth the monarch Prahallada in the country of Valhikas, the foremost among the sons of Diti, known by the name of Chandra and handsome as the lord of the stars himself, became on earth noted as Chandravarman, the king of the Kambojas, that bull amongst the Dhanavas, who was known by the name of Arka, became on earth, O king, the royal sage Rishika, that best of Asuras, who was known as Mritapa, became on earth, O best of kings, the monarch Pashkimanupaka, that great Asura of surpassing energy, known as Garishta, became noted on earth as King Drumasena. The great Asura, who was known as Mayura, became noted on earth as the monarch Vishwa. He who was the younger brother of Mayur and called Suparna became noted on earth as the monarch Kalakirti. The mighty Asura, who was known as Chandrahantri, became on earth the royal sage Sunaka. The great Asura, who was called Chandra Vinasana, became noted on earth as the monarch Janaki. That bull amongst the Dhanavas, O prince of the Kuru race, who was called Dirga Jiva, became noted on earth as Kashiraja. The Griha, who was brought forth by Singika and who persecuted the sun and the moon, became noted on earth as the monarch Krata, the eldest of the four sons of Danayu, who was known by the name of Vikshara, became known on earth the spirited monarch Vasumitra. The second brother of Vikshara, the great Asura, was born on earth as the king of the country called Pandya, that best of Asuras, who was known by the name of Valina, became on earth the monarch Dhundra Matsyaka. And O king, that great Asura, who was known as Ritra, became on earth the royal sage, known by the name of Manimat. That Asura, who was the younger brother of Ritra and known as Krodahantri, became noted on earth as King Danda. That other Asura, who was known by the name of Krodavardhana, became noted on earth as the monarch Dandadara. The 8 sons of the Kaleyas that were born on earth all became great kings endued with the prowess of tigers. The eldest of them all became King Jayatsena in Magadha. The second of them, in prowess like Indra, became noted on earth as Aparajita. The third of them, endued with great energy and power of producing deception, was born on earth as the king of the Nishadas, gifted with great prowess. That other amongst them, who was known as the fourth, was noted on earth as Srinamat, at best of royal sages. That great Asura amongst them, who was the fifth, became noted on earth as King Mahanjas, the oppressor of enemies. That great Asura, possessing great intelligence, who was the sixth of them, became noted on earth as Abiru, the best of royal sages. The seventh of them became known throughout earth, from the center to the sea, as King Samudrasena, well acquainted with the truths of the scriptures. The eighth of the Kalayas, known as Rihat, became on earth a virtuous king, ever engaged in the good of all creatures. The mighty Danava, known by the name of Kukshi, became known on earth as Parvatiya, from resplendent as a golden mountain. The mighty Asura, Kratana, gifted with great energy, became noted on earth as the monarch Suryaksha. The great Asura, of handsome features, known by the name of Surya, became on earth the monarch of the Vahlikas, by name Darada, that foremost of all kings. And O king from the tribe of Asura, called Krodavasa, of whom I have already spoken to thee, were born many heroic kings on earth. Madraka and Karnaveshta, Siddhartha and also Kitaka, Suvira and Suvahu and Mahavira, and also Vahilka, Krata, Vichitra, Surata, and the handsome king Nila, and Chiravasa, and Bhumipala, and Dantavakra, and he who was called Durjaya, the tiger amongst kings, named Rukmi, and King Janamejaya, Ashada, and Vayuvega, and also Bhuritejas, Ekalavya, and Sumitra, Vatadana, and also Gomukha, the tribe of kings called the Karaushakas, and also Kemadurti, Shrutayu, and Udvava, and also Brihatsena, Kshema, Ugratirtha, the king of the Kalingas, and Matimat, and he was known as King Ishvara. These first of kings were all born of the Asura class, called Krodavasa. There was also born on earth a mighty Asura, known amongst the Dhanavas by the name of Kalanemi, endued with great strength of grand achievements, and blessed with a large share of prosperity. He became the mighty son of Ugrasena, and was known on earth by the name of Kansa, and he who was known among the Asuras by the name of Devaka, and was besides in splendor, like unto Indra himself, was born on earth, was the foremost king of the Gandharvas. And O monarch, know thou that Drona, the son of Bharadwaja, not born of any woman, sprung from a portion of the celestial Rishi Rihaspati of grand achievements, and he was the prince of all bowmen, conversant with all weapons of mighty achievements of great energy. Thou shouldst know he was also well acquainted with the Vedas and the science of arms, and he was of wonderful deeds and the pride of his race. And O king, his son, the historic Ashwathama, of ice like the lotus petals, gifted with surpassing energy, and the terror of all foes, the great oppressor of all enemies, was born on earth of the united portions of Mahadeva, Yama, Kama, and Krodha, and from the curse of Vasishta, and the command also of Indra, the high two Vasus were born of Ganga by her husband Santan. The youngest of them was Bhishma, the dispeller of the fears of the Kurus, gifted with great intelligence, conversant with the Vedas, the first speakers, and the thinner of the enemy's ranks, and possessed of mighty energy, and the first of all persons acquainted with weapons. He encountered the illustrious Rama himself, the son of Jamadagni of the Brigures, and O king, that Brahman sage, who on earth was known by the name of Kripa, and was the embodiment of all manliness, was born of the tribe of the Rudras, and the mighty chariot fighter, and king who on earth was known by the name of Sakuni, that crusher of foes. Thou shouldst know, O king, was Dwapara himself, the third Yuga, and he who was Satyaki of Shurheim, that upholder of the pride of Rishni race, that oppressor of foes, begotten of the portion of gods called the Maruds, and that royal sage Drupada, who on earth was a monarch, the first among all persons bearing arms, was also born of the same tribe of the Celestials. And O king, thou shouldst also know that Kritavarman, that prince among men of deeds unsurpassed by anyone, and the foremost of all bulls among Kshatriyas, was born of the portion of the same Celestials. And that royal sage also, Virata by name, the scorcher of the kingdoms of others, and the great oppressor of all foes, was born of the portion of the same gods. That son of Arista, who was known by the name of Ansa, was born in the Kuru race and became the monarch of the Gandharvas. He who was known as Dhritarashtra, born of the seed of Krishna Dvaipaya and gifted with long arms and great energy, also a monarch of the prophetic high, became blind in consequence of the fault of his mother and the wrath of the Rishi. His younger brother, who was possessed of great strength and was really a great being known as Pandu, was devoted to truth and virtue of purity and was purity's himself. And O king, thou shouldst know that he who was known on earth as Vidura, who was the first of all virtuous men, who was the god of justice himself, was the excellent and greatly fortunate son of the Rishi Atri. The evil-minded and wicked king Duryodhana, the destroyer of the fair fame of the Kurus, was born of a portion of Kali on earth. He it was who caused all creatures to be slain and the earth to be wasted. And he it was who fanned the flame of hostility that ultimately consumed all. They who had been the sons of Pulasya, the Rakshasas, were born on earth among men of Duryodhana's brothers. That century of wicked individuals, commencing with Dusyasana as their first, and Hobul among the Bharata princes, Durmukha, Dusaha, and others whose names I do not mention, who also supported Duryodhana in all his schemes, were indeed the sons of Pulastya. And over and above these 100, Dhritarashtra had one son named Yuyutsu, born of a Vaishya wife. Janamejaya said, O illustrious one, tell me the names of Dhritarashtra's sons according to the order of their birth, beginning from the eldest. Vaisampayana said, O king, they are as follows: Duryodhana and Yuyutsu, and also Dusasana, Dusaha, and Dushala, and then Durmukha, Vivingsati, and Vikarna, Jalasandha, Sulochana, Vinda, and Anuvinda, Dudarsha, Suvahu, Dushpradarshana, Durmarshana, and Durmukha, Dushkarna, and Karna, Chitra, and Yapchitra, Chitraksha, Charuchitra, and Angada, Durmada, and Dushpradarsha, Vivitsu, Vikata, Sama, Urnanaba, and Padmanabha, Nanda, and Upanandaka, Sanapati, Sushena, Kundodara, Mahodara, Chitravahu, and Chitravarman, Suvarman, Durvirochana, Ayovayu, Mahavayu, Chitrachapa, and Sukandala, Bhimavega, Bimvala, Valaki, Bhima Vikrama, Ugrayuda, Bhima Ira, Kanakayu, Dridayuda, Dridavarman, Dridakshetra, Somakirti, Anadara, Jarashanda, Dridashanda, Satyasanda, Sahasrave, Ugrasravas, Ugrasena, and Kshemamurti, Aparijita, Panditaka, Ishlaksha, Duradara, Dridahasta, and Suhasta, Vatavega, and Suvarchasa, Aditya Ketu, Vahvasin, Nagadatta, and Anuyaina, Nishangi, Kuvachi, Dhandi, Dhandadara, Dhanugraha, Ugra, Bhimarat, Veera, Veeravahu, Alolupa, Abhaya, and Rodrakarman, also he who was Dridharta, Annadrishya, Kundaveda, Viravi, Dirghalochana, Dirghavahu, Mahavahu, Yudoru, Kanaka Nagana, Kundaja, and Chitraka. There was also a daughter named Dausala, who was over and above the 100, and Yuyutsu, who was Dhritarashtra's son by a Vaishya wife, was also over and above the 100. Thus, O king, have I recited the names of the 100 sons and also that of the daughter of Dhritarashtra. Thou hast now know their names according to the order of their births. All of them were heroes and great warriors and skilled in the art of warfare. Besides, all of them were versed in the Vedas. And O king, all of them had got through the scriptures. All of them were mighty in attack and defense, and all were graced with learning. And O monarch, all of them had wives suitable to themselves in grace and accomplishments. And O king, when the time came, the Kaurava monarch bestowed his daughter Dushala on Jayadratha, the king of the Sindhus, agreeably to the counsels of Sukuni. And O monarch, known that King Yudhishthira was a portion of Dharma, that Bhimasena was of the deity of wind, that Arjuna was of Indra, the chief of the celestials, and that Nakula and Sahadeva, the handsomest beings among all creatures, and unrivaled for beauty on earth, were similarly portions of the twin Ashwins. And he who was known as the mighty Varchas, the son of Soma, became Abhimanyu, of wonderful deeds, the son of Arjuna, and therefore his incarnation, O king, the god Soma, had said these words to the celestials: I cannot give part with my son. He is dearer to me than life itself. Let this be the compact, and let it be not transgressed. The destruction of the Asuras on earth is the work of the celestials, and therefore it is our work as well. Let this Varchas therefore go thither, but let him not stay there long. Nara, whose companion is Narayana, will be born as Indra's son, and indeed will be known as Arjuna. The mighty son of Pandu, this boy of mine, shall be his son, and become a mighty warrior in his boyhood. And let him, a best of immortals, stay on earth for 16 years. And when he attains to his 16th year, the battle shall take place in which all who are born of your portions shall achieve the destruction of mighty warriors. But a certain encounter shall take place without both Nara and Narayana taking any part in it. And indeed, your portions, ye celestials, shall fight, having made that disposition of the forces, which is known by the name of the Chakravyuha. And my son shall compel all foes to retreat before him. The boy of mighty arms, having penetrated the hardly impenetrable array, shall range within it fearlessly, and send a fourth part of the hostile force in course of half a day onto the regions of the king of the dead. Then when numberless heroes and mighty warriors will return to the charge towards the close of the day, my boy of mighty arms shall reappear before me, and he shall beget one heroic son in his line, who shall continue the almost extinct Bharata race. Hearing these words of Soma, the dwellers in heaven replied, So be it. And then all together applauded and worshipped Soma, the king of stars. Thus, O king, have I recited to thee the particulars of birth of thy father's father. Know also, O monarch, that the mighty warrior Drishtadumna was a portion of Agni. And know also that Shikandin, who was at first a female, was the reincarnation of a Rakshasa. And O bull, in Bharata's race, they who became the 5 sons of Draupadi Those bulls amongst the Bharata princes were the celestials known as the Vishwas. Their names were Prithivindya, Sutasoma, Shrutakirti, Satanika, the son of Nakula and Shrutasena, endued with mighty energy. Sura, the foremost of the Yadus, was the father of Vasudeva. He had a daughter called Pritha, who for her beauty was unrivaled on earth. And Sura, having promised in the presence of fire that he would give his firstborn child to Kunti Boja, the son of his paternal aunt, who was without offspring, gave his daughter on to the monarch in expectation of his favors. Kunti Boja thereupon made her his daughter, and she became thenceforth in the house of her adoptive father, engaged in attending upon Brahmanas and guests. One day, she had to wait upon the wrathful ascetic of rigid vows, Durvasa by name, acquainted with truth and fully conversant with the mysteries of Legion, and Pritha, with all possible care, gratified the wrathful Rishi. With soul under complete control, the Holy One, gratified with the attentions bestowed on him by the maiden, told her, I am satisfied, O fortunate one, with thee. By this mantra that I am about to give thee, thou shalt be able to summon to thy side whatever celestials thou likest, and by their grace shalt thou also obtain children. Thus addressed the girl a little while after, seized with curiosity, summoned during the period of her maidenhood the god Surya, and the Lord of Light thereupon made her conceive and beget on her a son who became the first of all wielders of weapons. From fear of relatives, she brought forth in secrecy that child who had come out with earrings and coat of mail, and he was gifted with the beauty of a celestial infant, and in splendor was like unto the maker of day himself, and every part of his body was symmetrical and well adorned. And Kunti cast the handsome child into the water, but the child thus thrown into the water was taken up by the excellent husband of Radha, and given by him to his wife to be adopted by her as their son. And the couple gave him the name of Vasusena, by which appellation the child soon became known all over the land. And as he grew up, he became very strong and excelled in all weapons. The first of all successful persons, he soon mastered the sciences. And when the intelligent one, having truth for his strength, recited the Vedas, there was nothing he would not then give to the Brahmanas. At that time, Indra, the originator of all things, moved by the desire of benefiting his own son Arjuna, assumed the guise of a Brahmana, came to him and begged him of the hero his earrings and natural armor. And the hero, taking off his earrings and armor, gave them on to the Brahmana. And the Sakra, accepting the gift, presented to the giver a dart, surprised at his open-handedness, and addressed him in these words: O invisible one amongst the celestials, Asuras, men Gandharvas, Nagas, and Rakshasas, he at whom thou earnest this weapon, that one shall certainly be slain. And the son of Surya was at first known in the world by the name of Vasusena. But for his deeds he subsequently came to be called Karna. And because that year of great fame had taken off his natural armor, therefore was he the first son of Pritha, called Karna. And O best of kings, the hero began to grow up in the Suta caste. And O king, knowest thou that Karna, the first of all exalted men, the foremost of all wielders of weapons, the slayer of foes, and the best portion of the maker of day, was the friend and counselor of Duryodhana, and he called Vasudeva, endued with great valor, was among men a portion of him called Narayana, the god of gods, eternal, and Valadeva of exceeding strength was a portion of Nagashesha. And O monarch, know that Pradyumna of great energy was Sanat Kumara, and in this way the portion of various other dwellers in heaven became exalted men in the race of Vasudeva, increasing the glory thereof. And O king, the portions of the tribe of Apsaras, which I have mentioned already, also became incarnate on earth according to Indra's commands, and 16,000 portions of those goddesses became, O king, in this world of men, the wives of Vasudeva. The portion of Sri herself became incarnate on earth for the gratification of Narayana in the line of Bhishmaka, and she was by the name of the chaste Rukmini, and the faultless Draupadi, slender-waisted like the wasp, was born of a portion of Sachi, the queen of the celestials, in the line of Drupada, and she was neither low nor tall in stature, and she was of the fragrance of the blue lotus, of eyes large as lotus petals, of face fair and round, of dense masses of black curly hair, and endued with every auspicious feature, and of complexion like that of the emerald. She became the charmer of the hearts of five of foremost men, and the two goddesses Siddhi and Dhriti became the mothers of these five, and were called Kunti and Madri. And she who was Mati became the daughter Kandari of Subala. Thus, O king, I have recited to thee all about the incarnation, according to their respective portions of the gods, the Asuras, the Gandharvas, the Apsaras, and of the Rakshasas. They who were born on earth as monarchs, invincible in battle, those high-souled ones, who were born in the wide extended line of the Yadus, they who were born as mighty monarchs in other lines, they who were born as Brahmanas and Kshatriyas and Vaishyas, have all been recited by me duly, and this account of the incarnation of superior beings, according to their respective portions, capable of bestowing wealth, fame, offspring, long life and success, should always be listened to in a proper frame of mind. And having listened to this account of incarnation, according to their portions of gods, Gandharvas and Rakshasas, the hearer becoming acquainted with the creation, preservation and destruction of the universe, and acquiring wisdom, is never cast down even under the most engrossing sorrows. So ends the 67th section in the Sambhava Parva of the Adi Parva.